There have been a series of talks between Seoul and Washington on sharing defense costs as the existing agreement expires this year. A local defense institute conducted a close study of how much South Korea compensates its ally for the presence of American troops here on the Korean peninsula. Our Park Ji-won reports.
South Korea is estimated to provide more than $3.1 billion a year for the cost of having U.S. troops stationed here. This figure was calculated by the Korea Institute for Defense Analyses, and the lead author of the study announced the result at a seminar held Thursday afternoon at the National Assembly. Research fellow Yu Jun-hyung explained that back in 2015, the South Korean government provided some $2.25 billion worth of direct financial support, including military supplies and maintenance expenditures. There was also indirect support that year, such as tax exemptions and reductions of utility bills amounting to nearly $900 million. And including over $1.8 billion worth of temporary support for costs related to the relocation of a central U.S. military base, South Korea's overall burden for hosting U.S. forces surpassed more than $5 billion. The study also attempted to compare such contributions by South Korea to those of Japan. The study estimates that in 2015, Japan provided some $6.3 billion worth of support for U.S. forces stationed there, but there were far more American troops in Japan, some 62,000, more than 2.2 times higher than the roughly 28,000 in South Korea. The paper said considering the differences in the two countries' GDPs and the troop numbers, that South Korea is paying directly and indirectly much more than its neighbor. South Korea is known to generally cover around 45% of the total cost of its defense by U.S. forces, but the author of the study maintains that the actual burden needs to be more accurately assessed and acknowledged. The South Korean government aims to use the findings in future rounds of negotiations with the U.S. over their cost-sharing agreement called the Special Measure Agreement, or SMA. Defense cost-sharing is currently governed by the 9th SMA signed in 2014 and expiring at the end of this year, and Seoul and Washington are looking to sign a 10th one soon. So far this year, they've held 3 rounds of negotiations on the matter in Hawaii, Jeju Island, and Washington, D.C., with a 4th round to take place in Seoul at the end of June. Park Ji-won, Arirang News.